How many times have you been out to detail a customer's boat to find that they want their caulking replaced because it's molded or dried out? Follow along in today's video. We're gonna get into that. Hey guys, Michael here with Marine Detail Supply, and today we're in downtown Tampa on a 32-foot Grady White, redoing some of their old caulking that you're gonna see here on this deck. What you're gonna need to redo the caulking. We're using Life Caulk by Boat Life. You can use 3M's 4200. Make sure that you're not using 5200. That's not removable. You want to be able to replace this if it needs to be replaced in the future, so keep that in mind. I've used this Life Caulk. I don't use it for securing, but I do like it for finishing caulk lines. It works really nicely, and it doesn't really stick to where you're gonna, if you go to remove it in the future, it's not gonna be very difficult to remove like 5200, so I like that about it. It also does extremely well with mildew and staining, so it cleans really well. So that's what we're using today. You're gonna need some tape, caulk removal tool. This has a little spike down here at the bottom and then some fins, and you use this, I'll show you how today, to remove the caulking, and then some gloves. And then just make sure you're keeping the caulking off of the boat with these. Whole box, I mean, I've gone through. Everybody knows 5200 means a mess, so make sure you got paper towels. All right guys, so our first step is gonna be to remove all this old existing caulking. Some is gonna come out easier than others, as you'll find. This is probably the hardest part of the job. I have these caulk removal tools, but this caulking is so stuck in here. I've broke 2 of them already, and it's kind of deep in this trough. So what I'm doing is I'm loosening up each side of the caulking with a razor blade to make it a little bit easier to remove it from the middle. And then I can take, one of these tools, scrape it up. Sometimes you can use a flathead screwdriver, works well. Anything that you can get in here, just be careful not to mar up the gel coat or chip it with anything too aggressive. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm just gonna remove, I've already did some of the caulking on this boat, but I'm gonna remove this and then a couple spots in the front, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alrighty, so we have everything removed off this area, and we're ready for our next step. You can see all of the old caulking here. You want to make sure that you use a shop vac, get all that dust out of here. That way when you lay down your new caulking, you're not going to have any dirt blown into it. So our next step is going to be taping. If you're using this blue tape, just make sure you don't leave it overnight. Let it get wet, get in the sun. But this is probably the most important part. You want to make sure that you tape a nice, straight, even line, and you want it right on the edge, right where it starts to curl, right before it starts to curl. A good reference for this is right on the line on which you see the sun glare off of. Just make sure, do a nice, straight, even line across the top. This is gonna give you a perfect line when you go to peel your tape off after you've laid your caulking down. So we're gonna go ahead and tape all these edges up and get ready for the fresh bead we're about to drop down. So I'm going to tape the rest of this up, and then we'll get to our next process, which is going to be dropping the bead. When you run up on corners, you're going to want to, this tape isn't the tape that you need to really run the corners the right way. You need fine line tape, which I forgot. So I'm just gonna make this tape work. And how you do that is you're just gonna kind of add a little bit of a turn ever so slightly and then rip it. Try to make it look as smooth as possible around that radius. But the right way, the easier way, is to go ahead and get fine line tape, which is vinyl, and it stretches, and you can pull it around this corner, make a nice straight radius. But this will do. Alrighty, so we have everything taped up, nice and clean. Not a very large amount of caulking here. But next we're gonna wanna put on the gloves. And everybody knows, no matter what kind of caulking you're doing, this stuff gets everywhere, even if you try your best not to get it on everything. So wear gloves, keep a box of towels or rags. That way you're not getting this stuff on the client's cushions or deck. So what you're gonna need, this is basically just finishes out the caulk line. You can use your fingers. This is just more consistent way. Works really well. I've used it before. You don't need to push very hard, but it'll remove all the excess caulking. Wipe it on the paper towel. Continue after you drop your line. So first things first, we're gonna take this caulking, drop it in between where we've taped on where we've removed the caulking, and then after that, we're gonna go back with this tool, clean out the line, make sure everything's uniform, pull the tape, and that's it. So let's do it. Alrighty, so we went ahead and dropped the bead. We now can go around with this tool and finish everything out. So this is set at this is only gonna go in so far. So if you don't have enough caulking, it's not gonna be deep enough. So if you've got excess caulking from spots you've dropped more on, you can take that caulking, put it where you don't have as much. Just want to get it nice and even here. Alrighty, so we've got everything nice and uniform. So now we're gonna go ahead and pull the tape. This is satisfying. Be very careful not to drop this piece of tape because caulking will get everywhere. There she goes. Dropped it on the deck. Don't do that. It's still wet though, so it'll clean easy. I've got some acetone and xylene here, so that's our finished product right there. Fresh white caulking. Once it dries, if you have any on the edges, you literally, with this caulking, you can just rub off the excess from the surrounding areas, but this caulking gives you really nice cleanability, doesn't mold easily. So that's pretty much it. Alrighty guys, so that's all there is to it. Pretty much wrapped up with this section. I gotta hit the front. We appreciate you following along with this. Hopefully it helps you with your clients if they're asking you to do caulking. If you got any questions, drop a comment below. We greatly appreciate the engagement. Give it a like, If you got any sort of value out of this, hit that subscribe button. I'm Michael with Marine Detail Supply. I'll see you guys in the next video.